Hello and welcome. Thank you for joining us on our comprehensive news in English. My name is Kemi Ewedairu Yusuf. On the news tonight, Governor Dapo Abiodun inaugurates Elders Advisory Council. Southwest governors launch Operation Amotekun security outfit. Iran plans more airstrikes against United States forces in Iraq. To improve is to change. To be perfect is to change often.
Good evening, everyone. Coming on business news today. Central Bank of Nigeria lends 662 billion naira to banks for liquidity control. To join us on the business segment of the news for more details, I am Edo Fabajo.
And tonight on the sports segment of the news, IAS defender leaves training camp in Qatar over US-Iran crisis. These and many more on the sports segment of the news. Later, my name is Hakeem Akitunde. You're welcome.
Former President Olusegun Obasanjo has paid an unscheduled visit to the Ogun State Governor, Prince Dapo Abiodun, at his office in Abeokuta. Chief Olusegun Obasanjo says he was at the governor's office to felicitate with the governor for the new year and discuss issues bordering on the development of Ogun State.
What have I come here to do? I have come to say Happy New Year to the governor. And then, of course, I haven't been here since he has been here to welcome him to his seat and to raise a few issues that I believe are of interest to the development of Ogun State in the area of, what will you say, education, agriculture, rural development, that sort of thing. And we have a wonderful, wonderful discussion. No, I have not come here to do assessment. I've come here to do promotion.
Governors in the Southwest Zone on Thursday in Ibadan flagged off the operations of the Western Nigeria security outfit Amotekun, stressing that it will complement the mainstream security agencies in the country. Governor Seyi Makinde of Oyo, Governor Kayode Fayemi of Ekiti, and Governor Rotimi Akeredolu of Ondo State were present at the event. Governor Gboyega Oyetola of Osun was represented by his deputy, Mr. Benedict Alabi, while Governor Dapo Abiodun of Ogun State was represented by his deputy, Engineer Noimot Salako Oyedele. Speaking at the occasion, Fayemi said that Amotekun was not a duplication or replacement for the Nigeria police. Fayemi said insecurity of lives and property in recent times was the main reason behind the formation of the security outfit. He added that the mainstream security outfits had not been forthcoming in arresting the situation. On the mode of operation of the outfit, Fayemi said it will work as a joint task force with the mainstream security agencies. He said having deep knowledge of the terrain, language, culture, and history of the community where they would work, the outfit will be set apart from other agencies they would work with. In his keynote address, Akeredolu said the outfit was only one of the many solutions being planned to tackle the many socio-economic problems facing the Southwest region. He said that the 6 states each had procured 20 pickup vehicles and 100 units of motorcycles for the operations. Still on security matters, the essence of the creation of Amotekun is for regional security and to protect lives and property of everyone in the Southwest region through community policing. Therefore, it is the responsibility of all stakeholders to ensure its success. The duo of a public commentator, Sulaiman Fasasi, and legal practitioner, Bayo Durojaye, made this call while discussing the topic, regional security, intrigues and implications, on an Ogtv political discussion program, Democratic Path. Fasasi stressed the need for the security outfit to be under a well-structured command and guard against any political interference.
Most of the times when the Nigerian police officers make a very resounding success, you discover that almost all this time an appreciation is shown to either our hunters, to our vigilante services, and a whole lot of them, which of course is an indication that they before now have been working hand in hand, especially to cover certain areas which the Nigerian police officers cannot even get into.
Barrister Durojaye said with effective management and involvement of people at the grassroots, the outfit will achieve the purpose for its creation.
It's very clear on security agencies and agents in Nigeria. If we need to amend, definitely, the truth is our constitution needs amendments. We have overflogged that. We have discussed that in different fora, on different platforms, as to the fact that this constitution that we are operating now is outdated. But however, do we have to wait for that constitution in the face of security challenges? No. So if we have to go ahead and let the security, the regional security arrangement flow, let it grow by itself.
The both praised the idea behind the creation of the outfit. Similarly, security of lives and property of individuals is very important, considering the rate of crimes in the society in recent times. It is therefore imperative for individuals to safeguard themselves against becoming victims of a crime. In this special report, Remi Adebiyi takes a look at personnel security and safety. Her report is presented from our studio.
Security threats can take place anytime and at any moment, and no one prays to experience risks, dangers, or threats to their lives. That is why staying safe and secured at all times is vital. Criminals are constantly surveying the environment for an opportunity to commit crimes. According to respondents who spoke with Ogtv News, there are no guarantees of personal safety in any environment, adding that it is incumbent upon each individual to safeguard himself or herself against becoming the victim of crime.
At the saying that you should mind your business doesn't have any place as far as security is concerned. Because as you are minding your business, you have to mind the other people's business too. If you mind your own business alone, the other person's business that you fail to mind can jeopardize your own business. So that is why it is very, very important, very, very necessary that whenever you notice any strange face or faces within your vicinity, you have to take caution.
Security starts from you as a person. It's a personal thing. It's like the oxygen that we breathe. Without you being secured, there is nothing that you can do. Right from the time when you wake up in your house, you must be able to look around. By the time you are leaving your house, you should be able to draw down the curtains and make sure that all your family members are indeed very, very safe.
A lot of insecurity pervaded our environment because there are a number of people who are living in abject poverty and squalor. Our population is fast increasing.
They said one of the best ways to maximize one's safety and minimize risk is to follow security rules.
Have information around you. You should be able to be vigilant, and if you notice, like probably a vehicle is parked in front of your house for more than 2, 3, 4 hours, and you are not really expecting any visitor, or they are not really doing any ceremony, either naming, either whatever around you, and you see somebody parking vehicles even overnight, we should be able to ask questions.
Nobody is asking you to go and challenge somebody who is armed, but you will do yourself a lot of good by adequately informing the appropriate authority who are trained, who have the wherewithal, who have the acumen to tackle such a situation. And aside from that, there is need for us to take a very a very bold step in securing our lives and property.
There are so many things that we see and we believe, oh, it does not concern me. And because of that, you just keep quiet. Whereas it's not so. It is a collective thing. Security is a collective thing. It's a thing that all of us must work together to provide. It is not what we can just leave at the doorstep of the government alone. And we must not negate the security of our fellow human beings too.
The security experts also highlighted some security tips to be followed by the people towards ensuring safety.
Whenever you observe any strange gathering in your area that you believe that you believe that this gathering is going to be inimical to the peace and security of our area, you have to take a proper action. And what are the proper actions you should take? You should inform the security agents.
Called on Nigerians to avoid walking alone at night and report suspicious behavior or movement to security agents.
Meanwhile, in its efforts to tackle security in the nation's maritime domain, the Nigerian Navy has rescued 3 expatriates abducted by sea pirates on the 2nd of January this year. The flag officer commanding Central Naval Command, Rear Admiral Saidu Garba, announced this to newsmen in Warri, Delta State, noting that the criminals attacked the vessels conveying the expatriates in the Niger Delta region, leading to the deaths of some naval personnel and assailants. Following intelligence reports during a Navy Rabbit Combined Counter Operation in collaboration with Land and Sea Components Operation in Delta State, as well as other security agencies, raking of the area then commenced.
And 20, in a surgical operation, the Nigerian Navy team rescued all abducted expatriates comprising 2 Russians and 1 Indian. Also, one of the assailants was apprehended with his weapon and the boat that was used to convey the victims, while other members of the group fled into a nearby creek with bullet injuries. I wish to use this opportunity to warn all criminals operating in the Niger Delta that the Nigerian Navy is poised to rid the region of all forms of illegality. I will not relent until the perpetrators of this dastardly act are brought to book.
In the meantime, activities marking the year 2020 Armed Forces Remembrance Day celebration in Edo State will commence on Friday, the 10th of January 2020, with a special Jumat service at the Central Mosque, Kobiti Abeokuta, starting at 1 in the afternoon. A statement by the Secretary to the State Government, Mr. Tokunbo Talabi, has it that the interdenominational church service will hold at the Cathedral of St. Peter at Abeokuta on Sunday, 12th January 2020 at 10 in the morning. The statement adds that a special parade and laying of wreaths will take place at the arcade ground, Okemoso Abeokuta, on Wednesday, the 15th of January 2020 at 10 in the morning. Still ahead, President Muhammadu Buhari and ASU hold meeting on integrated personnel and information system. Do join us for these and other stories when we return. Glad to have you back. One of the cultural expectations in Africa is that leaders at all levels are constantly expected to tap from the fountain of knowledge and wisdom, as well as experience of elders in the society, particularly those with proven track records of achievement. This informed the constitution of a 56-member Governors Elders Advisory Council in Ogun State. This was the kernel of the speech of Governor Dapo Abiodun at the inauguration of the council at the Obas Complex, Okemoso Abeokuta. Peter Falomo has a report.
The 56-member Governors Elders Advisory Council has 3 former deputy governors, some former senators, and distinguished elders across the 3 senatorial districts of the state. Secretary to the state governor, Mr. Olatokunbo Talabi, gave reasons for its formation and its importance to the current administration.
Appropriate at this time when all the little impediments are over for us to have an advisory council like this to guide and to serve as words of wisdom as we shape the way we progress forward and build our future together.
There were goodwill messages from the chairman of the ruling party in the state, the All Progressives Congress, Chief Yemi Sanusi, and others at the forum.
We ask all of you, because this structure must not collapse. We need serious advice from all of you, and I want all of you to cooperate and make sure you are holding your meeting regularly so that you can make contribution to this government. Your Excellency, sir, congratulations. You have once more demonstrated your capacity to show that you are a listening governor.
As we are trying to tap from the experience of the elders, I also want to say that it is necessary that you dialogue with the villagers too. That will give you the opportunity of running a bottom-top governance.
Kindly grant us permission to see you. It is not everything we want to bring on paper. Ordinarily, in none of the end, on any request that we make, it is not to make things happen.
It's a privilege that we are all here today to witness the inauguration of the Elder Council of the government. We are thrilled to serve in the universal capacity.
The Ogun State Governor, Prince Dapo Abiodun, said the move to have the elders in his administration is in line with the Building Our Future Together agenda of the state government.
Good governance is described as the ability to be consensus-oriented, ability to be accountable, to be transparent, to be responsive, to be equitable, to be just, to be fair, to be effective and to be efficient, to follow the rule of law, and to be participatory. We will develop our infrastructure with a renewed focus on security, power, energy, ICT, on improved education system, agriculture, an efficient healthcare system, upgraded environment and physical planning, a digitized economy, vocational training, and improving on the business environment, amongst others.
The governor added that with the contributions of the elders, the economy of the state will no doubt be given a boost. The Governor's Elders Advisory Council was thereafter inaugurated with Chief Oluleye Okuboyejo as chairman.
I hereby officially inaugurate the Governor's Elders Advisory Council in service to the continued development of Nigeria in the state.
Chief Okuboyejo, on behalf of members, promised a robust working relationship with the Prince Dapo Abiodun-led administration.
I have the authority of advice from the council to assure you that we shall not let you down.
The Elders Advisory Council was also assured of adequate administrative support by the state government. Peter Falomo, Ogtv News.
The appointment of Transition Committee chairmen, secretaries and members for 19 local government areas of Ogun State has been confirmed by the State House of Assembly. House of Assembly correspondent Kolawole Osho reports that the confirmation of the nominees was done at plenary at the Assembly Complex, Okimoson, Abeokuta.
Barely 24 hours after the screening of the chairmen, secretaries and members of the local government transition committees in Ogun State, the State House of Assembly has granted approval to the nomination as requested by Governor Dapo Abiodun. The Assembly's approval was consequent upon the presentation of the report of the committee on the selection by the Majority Leader, Honorable Sharif Yusuf, who also moved the motion for the adoption of the report and confirmation of the nominees, seconded by Honorable Akim Balogun and supported by the whole House through a voice vote.
Members examined their curriculum vitae, essential and intermediate. They were all found to be eligible and suitable to assume the exalted office of the chairman, vice chairman, secretary, member of the local government transition committee in the various local government areas of the state.
According to the report, the screening of the nominee chairman and members of Ikpokia Local Government Transition Committee was suspended till further notice in honor of the late chairman nominee, Mr. Shuaib Hadioshu. Speaker Right Honorable Olakunle Oluomo thereafter lent his voice on the confirmation.
The nominees are spread out by the Majority Leader for 19 local governments in Ogun State except that of Ikpokia are hereby confirmed as members of the Transition Committee for the 19 local governments in Ogun State and are now eligible to be sworn in as such by the Governor, His Excellency Prince Dapo Remembrance, the State Governor of the State. I so order.
Similarly, the State Assembly said the State Audit Law 2019 is meant to encourage accountability, transparency and probity in the runnings of government finance in line with the present administration's drive for fairness and all-inclusive governance. This was the submission of the lawmakers who spoke in favor of the second reading of a bill for a law to provide for the establishment of the Ogun State Audit Service Commission and Office of the Auditor General and for other matters connected herewith. The motion for the second reading of the bill was moved by Honorable Musefiu Lamidi, seconded by Honorable Olushola Adams, which was unanimously supported by the whole House through a voice vote. After thorough debate by the lawmakers, Right Honorable Oluomo thereafter committed the bill to the House Committee on Public Accounts for further legislative actions.
Still on appointments, the Governor of Ogun State, Prince Dapo Abiodun, will on Friday, 10th of January 2020, swear in the 19 commissioners recently screened and approved by the State Assembly. The confirmed 19 commissioner nominees will also be given their portfolios at the event slated to hold at the June 12 Cultural Center, Kuto Abeokuta, at 11 in the morning. The commissioner nominees include Mr. Afolabi Efuakwe, a former commissioner for sports in the state, and another former commissioner for agriculture, Mr. Tunji Akinsi. The others include the pioneer vice chancellor of Afe Babalola University, Ado-Ekiti, Professor C.D. Osho, and a former rector of Moshood Abiola Polytechnic, Abeokuta, Dr. Adiola Odedino, as well as Mr. Olaolu Olabinton and Barrister Gbolahan Adeniran. The rest are Dr. Tomi Koka, Barrister Femi Ogunbanwo, Town Planner Tunji Odunlami, Honorable Abudu Balogun, Mrs. Kike Lomolunge, Mr. Dapo Okubadejo, Oludotun Taiwo, Mr. Ganiu Hamzat, Mrs. Funmi Efuakwe, Mr. Kehinde Oluwadare, Mr. Jamiu Omoniyi, Mr. Toyin Taiwo, and Mr. Ade Akinsanya. In furtherance of the state government's efforts to ensure quality education for every facet of the sector, a call has gone to parents to do the needful as and when due in matters pertaining to their wards. The call was made by the Special Advisor to the Governor on Primary, Secondary and Technical Education, Mrs. Runke Shoyombo, while assessing response of schools and pupils to resumption for the second term 2019-2020. Mrs. Choyombo, who visited schools in Iwekoro local government areas of the state, also noted with disappointment that in most of the schools visited, apart from scanty classrooms, learners in the senior secondary classes had not paid for their West African Examination Council WAEC fees. She said payment for the exams had to be done in earnest as time was of great essence. She called on parents to be up and doing in their duties by paying up for the fees, which the state government was already augmenting. The special advisor reminded them that the children are the leaders of tomorrow and their future must not be toyed with at any point in their lives. She charged the pupils to improve on their reading culture as examination dates draws near, asking that they dedicate at least 30 minutes to studying daily, saying it will go a long way to ensure they achieve success. Schools visited were Adioye Lambo Memorial Grammar School, Obadaoko, Owiwi Nursery and Primary School, amongst others. The Edo State Government has presented a check of 1 million naira to the parents of a student who lost his life in an accident that occurred between the officers of the Nigeria Customs Service and smugglers recently in the state. It will be recalled that Master Daniel Okweoluwa Odushino of Ojumo Community Secondary School in Humbo, Ipokia local government area of Ogun State lost his life in the ensuing fracas while returning from school. Speaking during the visit and presentation of check on behalf of the state government, Permanent Secretary of the Ministry of Education, Science and Technology, Mrs. Abosede Ogunleye, said it was a very pathetic situation. That was why Governor Dapo Abiodun himself gave directive of the condolence visit.
Gbogbo wa wá síbí lónìí ní orúkọ gómìnà wa ọmọọba Dàpọ̀ Abíọ́dún wá kí yín pé ẹ kú ọ̀rọ̀ ọmọ pé ká sọ fún yín wípé a ò ní rírú ẹ̀ mọ́ Olúwa dá àwọn tó kù sí o.
Responding, father of the deceased, Mr. Jacobs Babalade, appreciated the Ogun State government for the gesture, saying that the family would never forget the kindness. The permanent secretary, who also visited the school to condole with them, charged the school authority to justify government's investment in education. She particularly advised the SS3 students in the school to prepare well for the forthcoming West African Examinations Council WAEC exam. A meeting between the President, Muhammadu Buhari, and the national leadership of the Academic Staff Union of Universities, ASU, has just ended at the State House in Abuja. ASU President, Professor Biodun Ogunyemi, led national officers of the union to the meeting, which started at 3 in the afternoon. But the unionists did not address State House correspondence after the meeting ended. The agenda was said to be the Integrated Personnel and Information System, which the federal government directed all ministries, departments, and agencies to join. However, ASU was consistently opposed to the policy, which the government claimed saved up to 250 billion naira as of October 2019. At the meeting, ASU reportedly presented its position on the issue to President Buhari. The Minister of Labor and Employment, Dr. Chris Ngige, and the Minister of Finance, Budget and National Planning, Mrs. Zainab Ahmed, also attended the meeting. The Chartered Institute of Taxation of Nigeria, Abeokuta and District has expressed its intention to partner with the Ogun State Television for its Taxation Week. This was made known during a courtesy visit to the management of the station. The delegates solicited for coverage of the Tax Week, which is scheduled for February 18 to 20, 2020.
In social development, and as it's been said for ages now, there is no money coming from oil, no oil money anywhere again. Everywhere in the country, including the national level, depend on taxation for the new generation. So we are here to appeal to Ogtv, the state-owned broadcasting corporation, to please extend a hand of fellowship.
Next month, precisely February 18 to 20. Okay, tentatively, because we are still waiting for the ratification of the president of the Chartered of Institute of Taxation in Nigeria. We met with her yesterday, and it's still like she's going to check her schedule to see if those dates are okay by her.
Responding, the General Manager of State Television Ogtv, Mr. Festus Kennedy, pledged his support in establishing a synergy between the station and the institute.
We will do the needful. We have said we need some high before the day, and you can be rest assured that we will support you in that area. Yes, we know issue of taxation affects everybody, because you generate revenue for government, and that same money is the one the government is using to put everything, all the infrastructure in place for all of us. So it is not a personal thing, it is a thing that affects all. So in that regard, we will give you adequate support, but we also expect you to do the needful where necessary, especially on the coverage.
The partnership is aimed at achieving success in the coming tax week and social development with the media. The National Broadcasting Commission, NBC, has been ordered by the Minister of Information and Culture, Lai Mohammed, to implement 70% local content in broadcasting. This was contained in a statement issued in Abuja on Thursday, revealing the minister's new directive to NBC. The statement, which was signed by the Special Assistant to the Minister, Olusegun Adeyemi, also contained the new directive aimed at repositioning Nigeria's broadcast industry, creating jobs, promoting local content, and boosting the advert industry. This, according to the minister, will empower local producers with proper funding and investment, enhance foreign collaborations, develop the local industry, raise the standard of local productions, and ultimately lead to job creation. The new regulation frowns against illegal and unpaid use of musical works by broadcast stations with payment of royalties. It also puts an end to exclusivity in sporting rights in the country. The minister concluded that this regulation will prevent the misuse of monopoly or market power or anti-competitive and unfair practices by a foreign or local broadcaster to suppress other local broadcasters in the television and radio markets. The new regulations are due to come into effect in this month of January. In recent years, it has been observed that people are no longer interested in apprenticeship compared to what was obtained in the early 80s and 90s, when school-age children who were not educationally gifted venture into apprenticeship in order to succeed in life. In this special report, Kunle Ibikunle takes a look at the relevance of apprenticeship in the modern age, its modification and advantages to the economy of a nation.
An apprenticeship is a job in which the worker is paid to learn a set of skills through on-the-job training, unlike an internship in which the intern works for little or no money and rarely receive formal training. Ogtv News crew sought the views of respondents on the relevance of apprenticeship to modern age, as it was revealed that people are more interested but in a dynamic way of engagement.
Because of their level of education, they have now rebranded, they have repackaged some of these trees to be conforming with modern time. Look at what happened in the building industry. In those days, you only plaster your hand, that's all. But now, we have those that are engaged in tiling. There are those that are now doing POP to design their house. So look at that. Look at also what happened in the case of tailoring. Either to just so and forget about it. But now, it is now fashion design.
You don't need to just depend on your certificate. As a youth, you just have to
learn a skill, anything that can put food on your table, because most especially when we graduate from school, all of us are looking for white collar job, which is not available everywhere these days. So but with the skill acquisition, what you've learned with your hand, you can become something, you can establish yourself after this.
Apprenticeship can be more interesting if government at all levels create enabling environment for those interested in it.
If there can be more programs, sensitization about skill acquiring, so many other things like that, I think it's really going to get better.
Most of the things you see in Europe, our people can do it here. Most of you can see in America, our people can do it here. But when they use less modern equipment, the outcome will not be as good as what you are bringing from Europe, from America. But when you bring that equipment here, our people have more skill and they will produce better because it will come out better.
Speaking on modification of apprenticeship, the respondent stated that it will go a long way in boosting the economy of the country.
When we move out the government, the next people in line of development in any nation is those people in that cadre, in that line, the apprenticeship. Those people who are self-employed, like the tailoring, the mechanic, all these people, they are the ones that will move the economy. So there's no way any nation can fully develop without considering them.
Apprenticeship can create promising new pathways for young workers in the country.
Social media is one of the most effective and affordable digital marketing tools for businesses. Over the years, social media has grown from being a fringe advertising tactic to a fundamental marketing component for businesses of all sizes. Ido Fabajo in this report takes a look at the benefits of social media as a new tool for business promotion. His report.
Media is interactive computer-mediated technologies that facilitate the creation of sharing of information, ideas, career interest, and other forms of expression via virtual communities and networks. Social media is a quick and easy way of staying engaged with other professionals in one's industry and allowing them to interact closely. There are a lot of benefits that businesses stand to gain from social media.
You have a product in the corner of your room, you want to put it out to the world, then I tell you, social media will give you that platform. You have the media. Social media is about the cheapest out of all those marketing mediums. Just put some data on your device, get your products, snap them, put them very beautiful, and then you broadcast it on social media. And I tell you, the feedback is great, because if businesses are doing fine, if individuals are doing fine, of course the country will be able to generate VAT, for example, and taxes from such business deals and transactions.
Social media has a lot of benefits because it will make your business go beyond geographic bound. These days, there are certain people or there are certain businesses that they will have to employ the service of a social media manager to manage their business account for them. Now, that is to tell you that social media is already providing employment opportunity in terms of advertising of business.
In fact, that's the key to business. We've done businesses in some ways in the time past, which cannot work anymore now. So if you don't go into social media, we have, all forms of social media down. You have to explore. Can you hold internet? You can't. But everywhere, all over the world, I can just punch in a word now. Somebody is saying it in Australia.
Like the Instagram, the Twitter, and the rest of them. These are modern age gadgets in which can ensure that one's product goes out beyond the reach, beyond that environment. And it has been quite advantageous to me, and it has been quite impressive.
According to respondents, social media give businesses an organic and affordable means of reducing their advertising budgets, but it also has its advantages.
For the younger ones that are growing up now, the way they use social media is not good. You understand? Somebody just will wake up and then will tell us that I am just waking up, or I am going to the bank, I want to go and withdraw money. If you don't know you are putting yourself in such a great security risk, you could use it to your advantage, for good. If you don't
watch it as a nation, it's going to escalate to such a point that there will be no censor at all to what people are doing on social media.
It lacks censorship. You know, the content are not controlled, and there are a lot of adverts there that do not really portray what the sender communicates. So when you come across an advert on social media, then the onus lies on you to kind of verify what you're saying.
Even though social media is time-consuming and frustrating at times, it is increasingly important aspect of businesses as consumers are now depending on social media to make informed purchases. And when done right, business can enjoy the tremendous benefits of social media marketing. Idowu Fabaju, Ogtv News.
Religious leaders should use their pulpits to preach the message of peaceful coexistence, as this is the necessary ingredient for a prosperous nation. The governor of Ogun State, Prince Dapo Abiodun, made this call at the turbaning ceremony of Imam Iskil Adisa Lawal as the Wakil Muslimin of Yoruba land, Edo and Delta. Tunde Olaniro reports.
League of Imams and Alfas for the Yoruba land, Edo and Delta have installed Imam Iskil Adisa Lawal, popularly called Sugar, as Wakil Muslimi of Yoruba land, Edo and Delta.
That was the official
The governor of Ogun State, Prince Dapo Abiodun, advocated the fear of God, which will make people do well.
One of those things I've learned as part of the Sunnah of Prophet Muhammad, peace be unto him, is that followers also have responsibilities to their leaders. Part of this responsibility is to support leaders and provide wise counsel from time to time.
He assured that his administration will provide necessary ambience for spiritual fulfillment of the people.
In that wise, let me remind our revered Alhaji Sheikh Imam Iskil Lawal that your contributions to the propagation of Islam have qualified you for this investiture. Already, you have been Wakil Muslim of Ogun State. This investiture as Wakil Muslim of Yoruba land, Edo and Delta State is a call to higher duty. You now have more responsibilities as a leader, not only to the Ummah in Ogun State, but the entire Yoruba land, Edo and Delta State. As an administration, we shall continue to ensure this peaceful coexistence. We will also call on all our spiritual leaders to ensure that the messages that will come forth from the pulpit are that which will uplift the people spiritually and promote peaceful coexistence. These are necessary ingredients for continued development.
The governor urged Imam Iskil Lawal to see himself as a leader to humanity and a rallying point. Tunde Olaniro, Ogtv News.
Mortals have been reminded of the need to impact the lives of people around them and always endeavor to supplicate for those in position of authority as divinely commanded by God. Secretary to Ogun State Government, Mr. Tokunbo Talabi, stated this at the Thanksgiving service to honor God in the life of Ms. Olusegun Faditimo, one of the newly sworn-in permanent secretaries in the Ogun State Civil Service. The state scribe, who pointed out that impacting people's life was a sure recipe for attracting God's kindness, congratulated the honoree and the family members for being counted worthy by God's infinite grace and mercy.
What my sister is witnessing today is not by accident, it is by design, because it has been purposed from the foundations of the earth. The Lord that has preserved you for this hour will see you through the end of time. Amen. Whatever it is that you lay your hands upon, it will prosper. Amen. The things that have brought you joy, that have brought smile to your face, they will not turn into things of sorrow in your life.
In their separate remarks, former Ogun State Head of Service, Elder Shola Adeyemi, who said their path crossed way back in 1992, described her as a very hardworking and dedicated officer of government who has exemplified herself in the course of her duty. Also speaking, her immediate elder sister, Bosede Dosumo, said her appointment is a confirmation of the leadership qualities in her, noting that she will bring this to bear in the service to Ogun State. It is worthy to always give thanks to the Almighty God for his faithfulness to mankind. The Vicar, Diocese of Egba West, Church of Nigeria Anglican Communion, Church of Epiphany, Owu-Abeokuta, Reverend Canon Isaiah Ashurinde, stated this at the Thanksgiving service for the elevation of Dr. Dotun Shurunke to the post of Permanent Secretary in the Ogun State Civil Service. Peter Falomo completes the story.
Their readiness to take their ministries to greater heights.
We are preparing the land for the various people that we are going to be beneficiary in cassava, in rice farming, and in maize farming. Others are livestock. We have cattle value chain, poultry value chain, and fish value chain.
The housing problem of the people. We'll collaborate with the federal government, the Federal Mortgage Bank, and all the even the private sector. It's not going to be government-driven alone.
We cannot allow people that are not authorized to do things in a legal way.
And we are going to support this present-day government of Prince Dapo Abiodun to achieve the aim of getting to the next level with it.
At a special Thanksgiving service in honor of the Permanent Secretary, Ministry of Agriculture, Dr. Dotun Shurunke, the Vicar, Diocese of Egba West, Church of Nigeria Anglican Communion, Reverend Canon Isaiah Shurinde, said there is need for mankind to give thanks to God at all times.
There was a man busy working in the farm when he received good news about his promotion. Will I call him King David in the bush? Will I call him King David in the bush? That is our man that we are celebrating today. I pray the good Lord will continue to uphold you in the name of Jesus. We should give thanks to the Lord all the time.
Dr. Dotun Shurunke thereafter led others to the altar in a thanksgiving to God for his grace in counting him worthy as one of the favored permanent secretaries in the Ogun State Civil Service. Dr. Dotun Shurunke was described by many as a man of vision.
Achieving is when you are dedicated and you.
Inner Wheel District 912 Nigeria will on Friday, 10th January 2020, celebrate the formation of the organization at the Secretariat of the Nigerian Institute of Management, Abeokuta chapter, behind Central Bank of Nigeria, Okelewu, Abeokuta. A statement from the district chairman, Sumbo Oshunbayo, says activities to mark the day include visit to State Hospital Ijayi, Abeokuta, to present cash and gifts to the first baby born on that day, as well as a visit to Janet Bankole Orphanage Home, Kinta, Idiaba. The statement adds that the celebration of the Inner Wheel Day and launch of the Inner Wheel newsletter magazine will hold at the NIM Secretariat behind Central Bank, Okelewu, Abeokuta, starting at noon. Inner Wheel is the female relatives of Rotarians, wives, daughters, nieces, and female friends of integrity. It is a non-governmental, non-religious, and non-profit-making organization formed over 96 years ago in Britain and exists in over 104 countries of the world. Ido Fabajo is set to bring you Business Report.
Are expected to come on stream in Nigeria by 2023, according to a data and analytics company
Nigeria is expected to contribute around 35% of Africa's total planned and announced oil and gas new build trunk transmission pipeline length additions between 2019 and 2023. The company's latest report, Global Planned Oil and Gas Pipelines Industry Outlook to 2023 Capacity and Capital Expenditure Outlook, with details of all planned pipelines, revealed that Nigeria was expected to provide 6,601.5 kilometers of new build pipelines by 2023. It said most of the additions would constitute natural gas at 6,460 kilometers, while crude oil pipelines would account for 142 kilometers. The Nigerian National Petroleum Corporation was responsible for 99.61% of the total 19.18 billion liters of petrol that was imported into Nigeria in 2019, the Petroleum Products Pricing Regulatory Authority said. A report on the breakdown of marketers' performance showed that while the NNPC imported virtually all the petrol consumed in Nigeria last year, the major oil marketers of Nigeria imported 0.39%. This means that a total of 19.26 billion liters of petrol was imported into the country in 2019. The PPPRA stated that the total quantity of PMS supplied across the nation as of November 2019 was 18.62 billion liters, adding that the PMS average sufficiency stood at 40.68 days. He said 1,612 vessels laden with petroleum products docked in Nigeria waters in 2019. And that's how far we can go on the business segment of the news. Thank you for joining us.